Ronnie James Dio is one of the most legendary heavy metal singers to ever walk the face of the earth. His voice had an insane range and originality to it, influencing the entire genre in profound and extreme ways. Few singers at the time had his vocal strength, and even to this day, he still remains one of the most iconic and original voices. But Dio did a lot more than just influence the singing style of 80s heavy metal. He helped shape heavy metal into the genre we know today. Most people today, especially modern metal fans, don't realize just how much Dio impacted and influenced the genre. Even before his best known album, Holy Diver, he was already making a name for himself in bands such as Black Sabbath and Rainbow, creating some of the best and most iconic songs and albums they ever had. Heaven and Hell is a good example of his impact, as he not only helped create a killer album, but also prevented Black Sabbath from drifting into irrelevance or breaking up. Dio joined the band shortly after they fired Ozzy due to his extreme substance abuse, reckless and unreliable behavior, which was a very bold move, as he was one of the main reasons why people wanted to see the band. He might not have been the best singer, but he was a great showman, and his stage presence made shows a lot more fun. Firing him meant the band now had to find someone equally as good, if not better, or be the last in line for future success.
Warning, there's more heavy sounds on Axe Attack Volume 2 with Rainbow, Def Leppard, Scorpions and Whitesnake, Rush, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Gillan, Motorhead, and the best of the rest on this amazing album, Axe Attack Volume 2, out now from K-Tel.
Before Dio joined Sabbath, he also used to play in Rainbow, and it's because of him that the early albums of that band had a lot of fantasy and occult elements. He later left because Rainbow wanted to go into a more mainstream direction and viewed fantasy as too childish and not serious enough. Ronnie James, being the legend that he is, decided to fuck all of them and start his own band, named Dio, a band that would go on to impact music history in ways that Rainbow never could, even though I still consider Rainbow an amazing and important band.
Every night I have the same old dream. So many changes, so many lives. Another dark and empty night.
But Dio, being so fascinated with fantasy elements such as the Lord of the Rings, dragons, knights and demons, ended up having a massive impact on 80s heavy metal and pop culture at the time. Even today, a lot of genres love to use such imagery, most notably power metal, which views Dio among one of its biggest inspirations, next to bands such as Iron Maiden, Queensryche and Judas Priest.
Follow the signs of
I don't even think power metal would be as successful or fun if it wasn't for Dio's massive contributions. A lot of albums, movies, and pop culture elements in the 80s started using dragons and knights on their covers or feature them in movies such as Conan the Barbarian or Red Sonja. Seriously, look at the movie posters for the Conan franchise with Arnold and tell me that they don't look metal as fuck.
Enough talk.
Even music videos began to implement these fantasy elements, which almost always look cheesy and cheap, but that's what makes them so great and fun in my opinion. One of my favorite examples is the Queensryche EP with their first music video called Queen of the Reich. It pretty much sums up that period and genre perfectly. Dio doubled down heavily on all of that when he released his most iconic album, Holy Diver. While I wouldn't say that this album created heavy metal, as that honor goes to bands like Deep Purple and Black Sabbath all the way back to the late 60s and 70s, it's fair to say that Holy Diver is one of the most important albums ever made in terms of style, instrumentals, and lyrics. There is a reason why so many rock bands in the 80s had a very operatic singing style, sort of like mixing opera singing with heavy guitars and power chords. Iron Maiden, for example, was a big influence on that style, as Bruce Dickinson's voice boomed through entire arenas and could hold high notes for a long time, while other singers crumbled or could barely even sing live. Holy Diver was extremely successful, and it was also the first Dio album to feature the iconic demon battling a priest. It might be one of the most, if not the most iconic metal album covers ever made. But what makes this even more legendary is that this cover and Dio's live concert appearances are the reasons why the Devil's Horns are associated with rock music.
I guess you could say that I'm rather interested in dreams. I do write about them all the time in the music that I make. Positive dreams that can and will come true if you believe in them, but more importantly, in yourself. But if you let drugs steal the magic from your dreams, you'll soon have nothing but nightmares. Drugs and dreams, they don't mix.
To me, Dio will always be one of the most legendary and amazing musicians of all time. Not just because of his contributions to heavy metal, but also because of his influence on pop culture and music in general. His lyrics were amazing and almost had that certain poetic side to them that many others didn't have.